Are we really doing this? Yes, again, I want every single person watching this video to take a deep breath, sit down, and really process what we all just witnessed, what was supposed to be a legendary, unforgettable, and deeply celebrated night in the history of women's professional basketball was completely hijacked, violently sabotaged, and ultimately ruined. The Indiana Fever just suffered a soul-crushing, agonizing, and entirely avoidable loss to the Golden State Valkyries, walking off the court with a final score of 88-90. But let me be entirely clear with you right now, and I need you to listen closely. The final score does not even begin to tell the real story of the absolute disaster we just witnessed at the Chase Center. We are talking about a night where individual greatness and historic achievements were completely overshadowed by pure incompetence, catastrophic coaching, and an officiating crew that seemed determined to steal the spotlight. Let me start with the history, because the history needs to be documented, respected, and recorded, even in a losing effort. Tonight, Caitlin Clark made WNBA history at the Chase Center in a way that should be headlining every major sports network on the planet. She recorded her 500th career assist in the first half of the basketball game, but it is not just about the raw number, it is about the context, the speed, and the sheer unprecedented dominance of what she is doing. By delivering that pass, Caitlin Clark officially became the fastest player in the entire history of the league to reach both 1,000 career points and 500 career assists. She did it in just 59 games. Let that massive number sink into your mind for a second. 59 games. Sue Bird, widely considered one of the greatest, most fundamentally perfect point guards to ever pick up a basketball, needed 82 games to reach that exact same milestone. Sabrina Ionescu, the walking triple-double machine, needed 84 games. Dawn Staley, a Hall of Fame legend and an icon of the sport, needed 101 games. Clark needed 59. That is 23 fewer games than the greatest point guard of her generation. It is a historic milestone that belongs in the conversation with the greatest, most unbreakable records in women's professional basketball.
For the Fever, Caitlin Clark did make history tonight. We gonna talk about it, man, in an iconic fashion. She ended up making her 500 assists to Sophie Cunningham, but the referees is still in the show. Just ultimately still in the show.
The pace at which Clark is accumulating these milestones is mathematically unprecedented. She is the first player in WNBA history with multiple games of 30-plus points and 10-plus assists in the same season. And she is doing all of this while operating as the undisputed #1 target for every single defensive coordinator in the league. Tonight, despite the relentless, suffocating defensive pressure, she finished the game with 16 points, pulling down 4 rebounds and dishing out 6 assists. She also added 3 crucial steals to her defensive resume. But then, the second half happened, and this is where the celebration tragically ends and the deep, boiling frustration begins. Nobody in the mainstream media is willing to talk honestly about the referee situation that had Caitlin Clark visibly furious, shouting in disbelief and completely losing her composure on the court. And honestly, I do not blame her for a single second. Multiple times in the second half, Clark put her head down, drove aggressively into the paint, and absorbed incredibly heavy, violent contact from the Valkyries interior defenders without getting a single foul call. She was frustrated. She was openly jawing at the officials, begging them to do their jobs and protect the players on the floor. She eventually drew a deeply controversial technical foul in the second half for her completely justifiable reaction to a blatant no call. On a drive where she was clearly undisputedly hit on the arm, that single technical foul cost the Indiana Fever 2 crucial foul shots at a game that ended with a final score of 88-90. Those 2 points could have completely changed the outcome, the momentum, and the entire narrative of the evening. Clark shot a flawless, perfect 8 from the free throw line tonight. But the number of times she drove into the paint, absorbed body blows, and did not get sent to the line was clearly astronomically higher than 8. The officiating in San Francisco, inside a deeply hostile building, with the Valkyries desperately defending their home court, was absolutely not consistent with the respect a player of Clark's caliber should be receiving. IT is a terrifying pattern of physical neglect that has been visible since the opening night of the season, and it was documented perfectly for the whole world to see tonight. But as angry, furious, and disgusted as we are at the referees, we have to talk about the absolute buffoonery coming from the Indiana Fever sideline, though we have to talk about the head coach. Stephanie White put on an absolute masterclass tonight in how to mismanage a close, highly competitive basketball game. The strategic rotations were not just confusing, they were entirely baffling and deeply destructive the team's offensive flow.
24 fouls called on the fucking Fever tonight. Excuse my language, bro. 19 calls were now 20 on Golden State. I'm furious right now, bro, because that's how bad this game has been. Stephanie White put Caitlin on the ball. Stephanie White put Caitlin off the ball. Like, damn, Stephanie, make up your mind. Did Caitlin Clark set majority of the damn third quarter? This was just buffoonery. Just buffoonery.
1 minute. Stephanie White has Caitlin Clark running the point guard position, dictating the pace of the offense, reading the defense, and creating wide open looks for her teammates. The next minute, she puts Caitlin completely off the ball, standing idly in the corner like a catch-and-shoot role player, watching the offense stagnate into isolation basketball. But the absolute most unforgivable, mind-boggling sin of the night was White's inexplicable decision to sit Caitlin Clark on the bench for the majority of the deeply crucial third quarter. You have the greatest, most lethal offensive engine in the world at your disposal. You have a player who just made league history, and you are treating her like a secondary piece in your rotation. Because of this chaotic, broken mismanagement, Caitlin could never find her true shooting rhythm. She was forced to play cold, completely out of sync, against a defense that was specifically designed to break her down. She finished the night shooting a highly uncharacteristic 3 for 12 from the field, including just 2 for 6 from behind the three-point line.
I'm hella mad. Look at this. Look at how the hell can we win when they look at this flop? You ain't even get hit. She ain't even get hit in the head, dog. She ain't even get hit in the head. Y'all see this? Bro, this has been all day. This has been all day, bro.
But the coaching malpractice
does not stop with Caitlin Clark. Oh no, it gets so much worse. Look closely at the box score. Look at the players who are forced to watch this disaster unfold from the sidelines. Grace Van Slitten, the highly athletic forward that the Fever front office signed specifically to address their massive frontcourt depth problem, was handed a DNP. Coach's decision. She did not play a single second. Tiasha Harris, DNP. Coach's decision. Damiris Dantas, DNP. Coach's decision. The Fever used only 9 active players and kept 3 incredibly capable, promising contributors locked on the bench in a 2-point, grueling road loss. The entire reason the Fever made roster moves was to add front-court athleticism and defensive versatility. That athleticism was completely unavailable tonight because Stephanie White stubbornly chose to give them absolutely